best of 5 grand final with a spot at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships in Katowice up for grabs. So a little bit more on the line at this one.
And you can see, of course, we're deep into pick and ban, so let's quickly rattle on through them. For the bans, for TPA, they're starting out on the blue side. It is Zed, Azir, and Aurelia, and Rek'Sai, Lissandra, and Nard taken away by Yo Flash Wolves. Quick rattle through the bans because we're almost done already. A Jarvan picked up for the jungle, Janna and Siva combo, but it's an Ezreal in the mid lane and a Lulu in the top lane. Crazy pickup from TPA. A lot of heals and shields. And for Yo Flash Wolves, you can see Kassadin was first picked in them. They've got that Morgana for Sword Art. We were talking about that yesterday. Lee Sin in the jungle and Tristana. And the final pick, will it be for the mid or the top?
This is actually pretty interesting, yeah. Well, you can go. You can go first.
I mean, this is probably gonna be Xerath here. Like, that's the only reasonable pickup I would see, because that's what they have been doing the whole tournament. Just
Xerath,
get their composition like Morgana, have a mobile jungler to follow up on that, and then have the Xerath just snipe the people that are binded.
I was about to say LeBlanc is available.
This is a much better pick, actually, because you have this double assassination in the solo lanes. Also, LeBlanc tends to be a very good pick against AD carries. Maybe not against Sivir because of the shield, obviously, but it's actually a really decent pick against Ezreal, and you can push him out just because of the pressure you create. Therefore, I think LeBlanc is the right pick. Although I'm not entirely sure about this whole combo thing, because the setup doesn't quite make all the sense. But I guess it's up to the early game.
So what about the Lulu Kassadin top lane potential?
I mean, Kassadin has free farm in that lane probably. If it comes down to a 1-on-1 situation, then Kassadin will just farm it up, has his Rod of Ages at like 10-11 minutes, and then he can roam around the map. And I don't like running double AD carries against like heavy assassin, because you need more utility, or somewhat like, I mean, Lulu won't be enough to stop the assassin potential coming into this game, and it really depends heavily on the early game. If you fall behind with the double AD composition, you're gonna lose the game. There's no comeback potential. That's the biggest problem. But if that Ezreal managed to get his early tier into Triforce and makes good use of the power spike, then he can actually 1-on-5 this entire game. So heavy mid lane focus, I would say, in the mid lane here right now.
And we saw the other day, of course, that Sword Art on Morgana was very good at locking people up, and you just talked about it. Effectively, it's the squishy potential that's in there. The double AD, the Janna. All of these are very easy targets for a Kassadin and a LeBlanc to jump on you. They've got a lot of gap closers there.
On the other hand side, this TPA setup is really weird, actually. Really, really weird. Like, I wouldn't know what to pick against that, because you normally don't see that kind of setup going on. The Lulu top lane plus double AD carry, that already tells you that, as Dexter already said, that they have to win the early game. They have to win it, really. It's really that simple. And I'm not entirely sure. If LeBlanc gets a 1-0 and decent farm, she's going to wreck the game by herself.
It makes a lot of damage.
Yes.
Setup, for sure.
One thing they do have going for them is last time they did play, TPA by far won the lane phase. That's really where it began. They won out the lane phase and then moved on. We'll see how it works out, because as you can see, we are live here. It is the Intel Extreme Master Taipei. It is the grand finals, and it is going to be a best of 5. Quick roster rundown for you. On the blue side is the Taipei Assassins. That means it's going to be Morning in the top lane on Lulu, Wins in the jungle on Jarvan, Chowie in the mid lane, former AD carry, I might add, on Ezreal in that mid lane, Lupin on Siva, and Jay on Janna.
Yeah, I guess that's one great thing they've got going for them at Chowie. Former AD carry playing Ezreal. I guess if you're going to have anyone playing Ezreal mid, it's probably a former AD carry that you'd pick. On the other side, for the Yo Flash Wolves, of course, his Stake with his amazing afro in the top lane, playing Kassadin here in this first game. Karsa, who's been really impressive actually so far in the jungle, playing Lee Sin this time around. Maple on LeBlanc in the mid lane. NL on Tristana, and Sword Art on Morgana. We talked yesterday that we thought maybe that Morgana might get banned away, because he's been brilliant on it in the games that we've seen. The 4 games that they've won here at Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. It's gone through in game number 1. We'll see if that comes back to haunt TPA.
Yeah, and talking about, obviously, Chowie being the former AD carry, Morning in the top lane, former mid laner, so we're going to be very used to playing Lulu. Stake, on the other hand, all we've seen is big tanky champion, big bruisers coming out of him. So going to be interesting to see how his Kassadin does in this top lane. He's doing very well so far, and, well, immediate aggression in the bottom lane. They're just going to go at it, and Sword Art's going to be forced away. Good boomerangs.
This is, talking about the setups, if you look at them in a general perspective, you can see that TPA has a very squishy setup, and Morgana hard corners that. So let's see how things go, because I really believe that if Morgana catches a binding on any of them, Jarvan included early game, that guy is dead. Look at all the assassination they have.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were talking about how LeBlanc and Kassadin can jump on you, but let's not forget Lee Sin as well. Could clutch you on. and we could also see a jumping Tristana just getting those resets. So it's a scary potential for both of these teams. A lot of damage, no doubt about it. Expecting to see a lot of team fight potential throughout this matchup.
Yeah, I think both teams have shown that they're quite willing to take fights. They've actually both been really, really coordinated when it comes to team fighting. We saw the games which were relatively close, at least in the start. There weren't many of them, to be quite frank, throughout the games that we've seen from these two teams so far. But those ones that were closer, you know, they'd hang back, and then all of a sudden there'd be a dragon fight where they win 4 for 1, take a dragon, and that was pretty much game over. So I think both these teams are going to have a bit of a calculated start, but it'll get messy really quick.
Yeah, and the last time they fought was in week 1 of the LMS, and it was actually a 4-on-4 fight down in the bottom lane. Like the junglers and top laners, everybody joined in down there. So we'll have to keep our eye on that one. And thinking back to yesterday, Taipei Assassins did the exact same thing. That's how they started things off in the matches against the Saigon Jokers yesterday. So bit of potential for a lot of early engagement here, and we're going to see how it works out. Maple's doing a pretty good job at the moment against Chowie, just basically zoning him away as far as he can away from the mid lane.
Yes, it's too early to zone anyway.
Yeah.
For LeBlanc against Israel. Oh, we have a pause.
It's not too early for a pause.
No, it's not too early for pause.
So, I mean, it is the thing. It is Chowie's mouse, so they're just sorting that out. He's already said it in the chat, so we're just going to get him to sort and fix whatever problem he is, replug the mouse. You can see the admin straight away comes out on stage, wondering what's going on here. What's going on here?
The crew, in fact, comes out. Look
Yeah,
at them
four people at once.
Actually, I think a couple of those were camera guys realizing they might have to move their positions there, so running out on stage for that one. But I think we're going to get straight underway. This problem seems to be a quick fix here for Chowie, and we are going to get started back into this one. We see that bottom lane pushed heavily already. Lupin and Jay with that Sivir and Janna lane doing real nice work so far.
NL taking a blast there. Lupin and Jay doing the combo. It's been working out well for them. Talking about that 4-man gang, what's going on here? Maple making his way down alongside Carcer. I think that's exactly what they were expecting. As soon as Swordar got caught there, I think they were expecting the full dive, but didn't happen. They back away. It does mean that Chowie has bought himself a respite, and he's going back to base. He's going to go for his first buy trip early on.
Israel is a very...
Blue as there we go.
Israel is a very lane-dominant champion, you know, especially in the mid lane. You have a very strong level 2, which mostly lets you win the lane, you know. Therefore, I think as LeBlanc, all you gotta do until this point is get the level 7, farm it as much as possible, get the Fiendish Codex, as much AP as you can, and then you're gonna be able to one-shot him at level 7. Maybe not one-shot him, but just pressure him just by your level. So play patient and wait for the moment.
Well, we'll see if Maple decides to play patient, or whether he says, "No, I'm just gonna fight this one." I know Oslard want me to play as patient, but I'm just not going to do that. We'll see. We'll see how that one works out.
I would never play patient either.
One thing I can say though is I think this 5 minutes in is the most even game that we've had so far, which is an encouraging sign to see. You know, we've had 2 0s all the way through the tournament so far. We've not seen a third game in any of them. We will definitely see a third game here in this one, though, since it's best of 5.
No doubt
that's
about
a good thing.
Let's hope it's not a 3-0 clean sweep, though. We've had 2 0s all the way through so far, so not been the greatest of competition in terms of evenness, I think, between the two. The LMS proving they are a lot stronger than their Vietnamese counterparts.
Of course, a little bit of blue build for Israel is normal for the mid lane as well. You don't usually make the same build as AD carry, because you normally wouldn't lack of on damage as mid laner, and what you're looking for is poke, you know? Constant damage plus poke. You don't want to be another AD carry.
Well, early a little bit of aggression there. Wins going up, getting the ward down in and around the deep ward in for the blue. They want to make sure they catch Maple heading out, and that's why we see Carcer and Sword Art already in there. Sword Art clearing out, using that pink ward, getting rid of that blue ward.
Yeah, nicely done there, spotting that one going down. Something that both teams actually did really well, especially in the semi-final games, was invading the enemy blue. I lost count of how many times actually they were stealing blues away, which obviously once you're ahead kind of becomes easier to do anyway. And let's be frank, some of those games they were more than just a little bit ahead as well. But this one definitely looking a lot closer, although there's already that 300 gold difference that's opening up just for the, few CS lead here and there. It's just 4 or 5 CS in a couple of lanes that's really doing that, but still no first blood action coming into this one. So both teams showing each other a lot of respect, that's for sure.
Talking about the blue buff thing, yesterday we had a game when Westdoor, as TF, literally got 0 blue buffs in a 30-minute game.
Yeah. Not something you like to see as a mid laner, really.
Oh, not really. No. Yeah, at some point he was like, "Yeah, you know what? Just get it yourself. I'm just not gonna get this one either."
Well, at the moment it's very even across all lanes. In terms of CS, mid lane completely even, top lane just 2 between them. That's going to balance itself out in a second, and down in the bottom lane that's going to balance it out as soon as that wave gets pushed up. So both these teams being very cautious in the opening few minutes here. 7 minutes gone. The game was practically over by now already, but this is going to be an early dragon coming out from Taipei Assassins. It's going to be a momentous occasion, as you can see on your screen, but...
Well, let's switch over to my screen, and I'll do a fantastic job of trying to observe whilst we get that clean feedback. Oh, it looks so nice.
It does.
Yeah, basically, just to give you guys some context on this, I know a lot of people have been asking. We basically get a live feed from the observers over there in Taiwan because I'm less than qualified to actually do that. Plus, because of the fact that we're in Germany, sometimes we get a little bit of lag on the client, just simply because I think of distance there
you just see weird things
than anything else. Yeah.
Occasionally you'll just see like a guy just running straight in. You think, what's he doing? Actually, he's not running straight in. He's not crazy. But as it stands at the moment, they are just going to push in. So the dragon basically, it didn't get taken. You didn't miss anything. It was started and they immediately backed away from it. They got a pink ward down in their Taipei Assassins. So that's about all, because Yowie Flash Wolves instantly showed up down the bottom there. So we'll see how it worked out. We did have a teleport used, by the way, from Stake, which is why they backed away. So that will be down for around about 2 more minutes. So we'll see whether the Taipei Assassins decide to pay another visit to that dragon shortly.
You can see this slight advantage in both CS on pressure, in top lane and mid lane.
Oh, this could be dangerous. Yeah, wind's coming in from this one. It will land the knock up there onto Sword Art. Ultimate comes out of NL, but the first blood, it was actually, I think, Cataclysm damage there that actually got the kill for them. Nicely worked, and Wind's just simply walking on in. And that looked far too easy considering how defensive this whole start of the game has been.
Yeah, definitely. On the other hand side, Javan played that really well, because it wasn't that obvious he will flash the combo, you know? It wasn't that obvious they will just go all in for the kill, but they went and they just barely got it, you know? So, for Morgana right there, I mean, not many people would have flashed before the flash of Javan.
I think they actually used Sword Art's aggression against him as well, because we saw Looping going aggressive, which ordinarily you'd be like, okay, the AD carry's suddenly gone aggressive, back away, clearly something's up. But instead, Sword Art just went, all right, I'm up for this. Went forward, got the Ignite down, tried to get the Dark Binding, and suddenly realized, hang on a minute, this has all gone horribly, horribly wrong.
The thing with that is that, you know, bot lanes used to play with that a lot, you know. Sometimes your jungle is not even there and you still play very aggressive, so your opponent misses creeps. So if you will be playing very defensive all the time thanks to that, you will never get a creep, you know. So you sometimes need to take the risk, take the gamble.
True Shot Barrage comes across, doesn't find it. They've pulled the dragon actually very far out. There's the teleport. Morning's going to be joining this one. They're going to go aggressive instead on Jay. Stake has to flash away from that one. Going to try and take this one back down. Morning very low as well. He's going to get dived on. Oh, Maple blasted away, but there's Monsoon. Is it going to be enough?
Tristana.
Dragon's reset. NL's actually in the pit, having to fight it all on his own, and now the rest of Taipei Assassins force them away. NL effectively tanked that dragon for a good 10-15 seconds in that fight, and it's gifted the dragon across the Taipei Assassins.
I hate to point out the wrong plays, but NL completely misplayed there and completely probably lost the team fight alone, and probably the Drake, because he would have got easily a kill, but he missed his flash and he could have just actually jumped away right after, you know. It would have been 4-4 and they wouldn't have been able to get the dragon.
And Sword Art's dead.
Wow.
Yeah. The turret going down there, 3 of them moving in. Jay actually tanked up, I think, the last hits of it before they could finish that one off, but not able to stop them. And just like that, look how the gold has just kind of jumped now as well. 17,000 to 14,000, almost a 3,000 gold lead, just like that. And that puts the Taipei Assassins in firm control here. We'll see if they can continue this run. I'm actually going to have to sit down because I can't do this stood up. Just saying.
We will see now if what we've seen throughout these 3 days it was a vague thing out of Yo Wolves.
That
you
was,
know,
that was a mistake.
He got the blue buff. God damn it, man! What's wrong with you, Javan?
Chowie will not be happy with that, and again we see another blue buff mistake. So Wins takes the blue buff away.
It's more common than you think, man. You should play mid lane to, to realize yourself.
I'm aware, it's just annoying to everyone. Oh, here we go, Steak's going to get caught out, no flash available, does manage to get his Rift Walk away. He's going to get caught out by Jay, there's the Cataclysm, no escape for Steak. The tower will not be enough, and they will take him down. While that was happening, we also saw a three-man pile-on by the Yoi Flash Wolves on the mid lane on Chowie. So at the end of the day, good job we didn't get a blue buff, because he'd have just lost it.
That's very true. I mean, can't deny that you're right on that one. We are going to see turrets exchange here, but it's a middle turret for a top lane outer turret there.
Definitely more worth. Especially when you have so many assassins and so many catch power with Morgana, you want to get as much vision as possible. How you get vision? Getting these objectives, getting these towers. Now you get the vision on their jungle, you can see. The map opens up.
The collapse is on right now. Sword Art's coming down. Morning needs to be making traps here. Speeds himself up. Is he going to get away? Not quite caught by the dart binding. LeBlanc will not go for the kill. Instead, will retrace her steps and back away. So TPA will move down in numbers to defend this bottom turret. Morning playing it very safe. This has opened up the map though, like you say. Taipei Assassins, while they are ahead after a good dragon fight and effectively a lot of good ganks, does actually mean they don't really have map control just yet.
We were talking about the fact that they needed to be ahead, TPA needed to be ahead to make their champions work, but once they are ahead, you can see they're going to be pretty much unstoppable unless they commit some crucial mistakes. Ezreal mid is a champ that actually scales very well if you're ahead, because of the poke plus the constant damage. It's just too much pressure to handle, plus the Q of Sivir, you can see. It's going to be really painful to deal with.
Yeah, it's something we saw from Hive at the Intel Extreme Masters in San Jose, which obviously Cloud9 went on to win. It's a lot better than they've done in the LCS, certainly in their first week. Carso's waiting off at the side here. I think they want to make a play. Does manage to land a Sonic kick on Lupin. Will he get Lee Syndrome? Will he go for it? No, he's going to start on the pink ward instead.
Yeah, we'll be too optimistic. With the Lulu ultimate, they could completely take down Lee in just seconds.
Is he going to go for this one?
Good damage in the mid lane as well there. I mean, they've got the wave clear, but still, they need to be super careful about how low they actually get from this. I'm going to see Ezreal and Jarvan just sat a little bit off to the side. True Shot Barrage, I'm not going to be able to follow that. I'm just not that good.
in this patch, we still have the DFG, right?
Yes, we do. Yes. Yeah, so expect
That's a really good item for this game, for the LeBlanc.
Someone going for that. We saw Frog and Wrecking face with that one last night.
Yeah.
At the moment, no, mid lane tower is being pressured. Stake has rejoined. They're trying to go in there. Maple taking a big burst, forced to flash away. And the siege is continuing. There's a big wave building on the bottom lane as well, which is going to cause some problems. It does mean, of course, that somebody from Yo-Yo Flash Wolves is going to have to deal with that one, and that could mean they're going to lose this mid turret.
So smart, man. So smart. The fact that they are just grouping up as 5 in the mid lane, they acknowledge that the opponents have too much assassination power, then they group as 5. And they benefit from that, you can see.
Tower down here. Turret number 3. I'm back. Apparently. Should get a pay rise for this. Probably never gonna happen. Okay, now I'm done again. It's like musical chairs.
Keeping you on your toes, Joe. Yeah. That's what it is, literally. So, Taipei Assassins, 4-1 up, 3,000 gold differential. They have the lead for now. Can they hold on to it? We saw Maple struggling to actually get close, and it's like, while we were talking about how they can just get in and blow someone up, it's pretty tricky when you're just being sieged from afar. You can't close that gap quick enough, or if you do, you've got to commit to it. Now, they do both have flashes up. They've got those gap closes, so it's possible they could try and pile onto one target and get the hell out. Yeah,
definitely, but there's a huge problem. If TPA groups second as 5, what can they do? They have too much range, double AD carry, plus Lulu, too much control, plus the Javan plus the Janna, sorry, in case things go wrong. They have too much control if they get ahead, of course. But something to notice is that LeBlanc has 151 creeps, which is really ahead of Ezreal. This could actually end up being a problem.
I just want to check the gold. Actually, he's ahead in gold there.
Yeah, of course. He should be, yeah.
Yeah, 5,500 to 5.2 thousand gold. So actually in a nice little position on that front. Actually the only one on the team that's actually ahead of his counterpart if you look across the scoreboard. So we'll see. Maybe it is all on to Maple to make this game work for the Yo-Yo Flash Wolves.
Drake is up in 5 seconds. and we see Kassadin pushing top lane, this means that TPA is bound. They need to start Drake ASAP, so Kassadin TPs. So we will see a team fight. If Kassadin doesn't TP, this game is over. So he will TP, and they will fight.
Let's see then. There's a pink ward cleared out, but they didn't spot the ward that's actually off to the side. They're going to kill off the crab. Pink ward there.
Gotta start it soon.
There's a ward at the back of the dragon he could TP to and then rift walk into the pit. So that's what we're going to be looking for. Where is
pretty good ward.
actually going to go?
Really good ward.
Oh, I think they've just pinged it. I think they just realised that it is there. So we'll see where they go for it. Instead, they're going to start off the dragon.
They started.
A big wave. There's the teleport coming in. Where's he going to, actually? He's not going onto that back ward. Instead, he's joining into the team. Dragon's still very low here. They're going to try and steal this one away. True shot barrage rattles across. That's going to be taken. His Taipei Assassins are getting it. Now they lock up. That's going to be the jungler going down. Casa being picked off. The rest of Yui Flash Wolves trying to back away. Stake, what are you doing? Get away from there. Has to flash in the end. Riftwalk wasn't quite available off cooldown. And that really was not a good fight for the Yui Flash Wolves.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. I mean, he needed to TP. On the other hand side, if he doesn't TP, they're going to lose the game by that. They need to play the smite play.
I mean, that's literally the thing that you don't want to happen, right? You either give up the dragon, which obviously you don't particularly want to do, and push that top tower out and don't lose any guys. Yeah. Or you fight and you actually get the challenge for dragon, but he came down, so he didn't push top, and they didn't get dragon, and they lost the guy.
You can see the difference between the world-class teams. You know why everyone hates to play against Fnatic, and it's been happening since a year and a half ago or 2 years ago until now. Even when the famous backdoor against me, the reason they're that good is because they make so crucial calls regarding that. If they know they cannot fight the dragon, they will go top lane, like maybe all of them, They will get 2 towers or maybe 3 if you don't go there. They will get your top vision, maybe even Baron, I don't know. They will do something in the opposite side of the map because they understand they cannot fight you. It is really, really smart, and I wish I would have got that kind of vision of the game before, because that gave them so many games.
Yeah, it's how they dominated Europe for a good 2 years, and looking to do it again over in the European LCS. Of course, they were victorious last night. Ronatic, as they were known, I think it was. Quickshot called them towards the end there.
Dying in the jungle is not going to help you early on, though. For everyone that saw that.
Yeah.
I want to make a little comment about Yellowstarman. I think that guy is super underrated. Like, if people will understand the kind of calls he makes, he has like 3 brains in one. It's crazy. I played with him in SK, and he was AD carry making calls in the top lane. It's just crazy. That guy is super underrated.
Yeah, I was quite surprised actually when obviously everyone was leaving. I knew ahead of time that the team was going to be changing, but I was surprised that he stuck around. He didn't go to say Elements. Instead, he built the team and trained with it and worked hard. And you can see last night, you saw the celebration last night. I mean, it's just a normal league game. Most people don't celebrate wildly, but they were ecstatic about it. It was a big game over Roccat, of course. Roccat, one of their contenders at the top, but overall, Fnatic looked brilliant. But going back to the LMS here, or the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei, it is an LMS clash between Taipei Assassins and Yui Flash Wolves, and so far, the Taipei Assassins, who are top of the league in the LMS, are looking to take game 1 here. They are in control. They've got a good ward down, and this blue buff might get fought over.
They're gonna try a little fight right here. It could actually be a double-edged sword because they are way too together. So LeBlanc and Kassadin can do a lot of work. Yeah, they decided not to go for that. Which is smart.
Actually pushing more up towards the tower there, but that's actually, forced the Flash Wolves to move around the backside. Will now allow TPA to actually get some ward coverage of their own down, sweep a few wards out, and move over now onto the bottom side of the map. While they did actually send Morning up onto the top side to push that one onto the inner turret, but
not TP yet.
Yeah, I think they should be fine at this point. I don't see TPA going completely deep underneath the tower.
So the difference here is Morning has teleport if needed, and Stake does not. Stake's had to go up to the top because Morning's just been pushing every lane in systematically. He went to the top, and then came back down to the bottom, and now into the mid lane. The rest of TPA not going to follow through, but he's just continuing to keep the pressure onto the Yui Flash Wolves. And we saw them, they got the wards in there, but immediately they all got swept out by the Taipei Assassins, who have all gone back to buy because they just built up a stack of gold, a whole pile of pink wards getting picked up, and they're going to be in preparation for the next possible dragon or tower push. We do see the Soul Stealer being picked up for Morning. He did this yesterday against the Saigon Jokers.
That's not very smart. I think he's overjudging.
Well,
how ahead they are.
It's not too bad these days because it starts off with 5 stacks, doesn't it?
I think it's not bad for a support at some point, but I think for a solo lane, which actually they rely on your damage, and you are having a sort of blue build Ezreal as well, you need as much damage as possible, and your team is not necessarily, you look at the team, it's not very damage based. I wouldn't have went for the mages, I would have just went for the large rod with a little bit more of gold. It's a huge difference,
Well, let's see how that works out for him. We could probably see that in a minute and 20 when this dragon comes up, how they actually match up in terms of damage. When you look over the other side, Kassadin, who's going to be moving up towards his Zhonya's soon, already got that Rod of Ages in there. There'll be a death cap on Maple's LeBlanc soon as well, so that could definitely play a role in this next fight. Both AD carries obviously going very similar
even, yeah.
builds, and both got Shiv in there. Neither of them quite at Infinity Edge just yet. I don't think anyone's quite got the gold for that.
Sivir's slightly ahead, of course.
Yeah.
Thanks to the assists plus the kill.
That bottom tower's not really being challenged here. I think Taipei Assassins may have stole the march on them. They are going to get some damage down there. Lupin's already putting pressure on towards it. Yo Flash Walls do try and come across. Sword Art takes a big boomerang blade to the face there. A lot of damage, yeah, like you say. While this is all happening, Stake, he's desperately farming. He needs to get that Zhonya's Hourglass as quickly as possible. He's been soaking up all of the farm in the top and mid lane for the last 2 waves. And you can see TPA continuing to just keep the pressure on them. And pressure Yoe Flash Walls. He should be able to get away from this one. Had to flash, couldn't safeguard across there.
Yeah.
He went to the ward behind him there. I don't think he actually really meant to do that there. I think he wanted to get back and go over the wall onto the ward, but whatever.
Sometimes you panic with Listen. It's normal. It's more normal than usual.
Safeguard! Where's the ward? Didn't send him over the wall, and now we see that turret is going to go down. They couldn't quite adjust their position quick enough, and this is really prime time now for TPA. They're the ones that have got all the wards down in there. There's Maple around the corner.
Oh, they've been seen, I think, by Maple. They've been seen, yeah?
Yep. Maple knows they're waiting.
Yeah.
This trap, they actually might try and trigger it.
Oh, this can be good for...
Well, we'll see how it works out. You can see Sword Out. The Cataclysm actually backfired on them. They do manage to get one down. Maple's in trouble, though. He will drop. Stake's trying to put the damage down. Like I said, that Zhonya's not complete. Here goes NL, jumping straight in there. Gets one down. Jumps onto Looping. Gets a second. Casa picks that up. And just like that, the sneaky little peek from Maple has gifted them 3 kills and a dragon.
We made it clear, man. That Mages wouldn't help. He overestimated how ahead they were. Look at the setups. Normally you will say, yeah, the double AD carry plus Lulu should win late game, but not against 2 assassins when you're that squishy, right? They will always have the better late game because you're just too squishy and you can't feel tanky.
And NL showing that he is not scared to jump in there and get that first reset. And that's the danger now, because after that he should have, he's sat on 1600 gold, so he's going to go back, pick up the Infinity Edge, and then now you've got a scare. Yeah, then they start really rolling things out. We'll see, though. It's still too close to call for me, this one. A lot of kills, we have to say as well. We talk often about kill spread in a team. 4 out of the 5 kills for TPA sat on Jarvan right now, which is obviously going to help him to become the tanky man that they actually need in this game. But we saw in that one that he kind of just gets very low very quickly.
It's not ideal, because look at the setup. They don't have all the damage.
There's the double assassin. Are they going to pile in? They don't quite get a glimpse of him.
The Yampas, man.
If he gets spotted by this red ward in a moment, they almost certainly will go for him. They're going to give him the blue, and that doesn't give him a reason to go north.
That blue on Ezreal is more important than you think. And they're going to be able to just either stall the game a bit more or just even push, The blue buff is just extremely important at this point.
Yeah, team fight potential for both teams picked up considerably after that exchange at the Dragon. Like you say, there was Infinity Edges picked up by both AD carries. Yeah. Death Cap, of course, was completed by Maple, and as you were mentioning, Stakes very close to getting that Zhonya's Hourglass complete. So everybody really getting the big items that they need, as well as the Aegis Legion being picked up. Here we go. They're going to dive onto Sword Art. He's going to flash away. Can they turn this around? Maple's a long way away from this fight.
Yeah, the binding there, I think, hit Lupin, actually, when he had his spell shield up there. Will be the Cataclysm going down, and they get one. It may well be more here. Who is that? It's Kassadin, so he's got the mobility to get away, but Chowie might be able to come in here and stop that one from happening. They will finally just just dive away from that one. Dragon, of course, already gone. As here Flash Wolves took that one down, but doesn't look like they're done here. They're still chasing around.
They've got a scary speed engage on them with that Sivir ultimate. The Lulu can speed in there, but Yo Flash Wolves played that clever. You know, they didn't panic. It was only the support that got caught out. They didn't dive into a fight unnecessarily. Sword Art has respawned, and now they're actually looking to flank here and maybe poke around the side. Maple does manage to catch down. Win stunned up. He's in trouble. They put Wild Growth does keep him alive just about, along with the knockback. But they're not done yet. They can keep chasing. Stakes very low here. Doesn't quite pick him off. NL, though, trying to catch on towards him. He's looking at all those juicy resets on Morning and Wins, but it's not going to happen. Oh, True Shot Polaris rattles past Maple. Not going to quite find its home. But you can see these team fights are extremely close so far.
Sonia's will make the difference. You can realize, right?
Oh, they're waiting. Oh, I missed.
Oh, gets the crit straight away there, though, onto Casa. NL going very, very low there as well. And there's shields all over the place on both sides on this one as well, which makes those fights somehow a little bit harder to call. So, like, you know, that Jarvan's most definitely dead.
Yeah.
Janna shield, Wild Growth, Lulu shield, like, and then all of a sudden his health bar's like fake at half HP. So you know, a lot of protection for that one. He's now got his Randuin's Omen in there. Still to Die actually has wins, which, you know, in such a squishy lineup against a Kassadin and LeBlanc in there, it's kind of impressive that he keeps diving in there and getting out alive.
On the other hand side, he has to do that. You know, he has to be as aggressive as he's been, because if he doesn't do that, his teammates have literally no room to do anything.
The big thing he has going for him is the fact that nobody's actually going to focus him at all. He's going to be jumping in and they're all jumping out.
they need to focus him at some point, because if he's the only one at melee range, Alex Hitch said something 3.5 years ago, which was very, very smart, and said, see hero, kill hero.
Yep.
And actually this game is about that. Many people is like, why would you focus the tank, etc., in the Twitch chat, etc., you know, but that's the right thing to do.
They're desperate to get picks here. You know, Maple's been sat hoping that Morning would push up in that bottom lane for a very large period of time. Also, we just saw Yoey Flash Wolves were gathering around the Raptors as well. They were hoping to try and pounce across. So they're hoping to try and make plays, but Taipei Assassins are playing as this clump, this big team, so they're not getting picked off by this crazy assassin pick comp that Yoey Flash Wolves have.
Yeah, they have a game plan. You can see they got 5. They are doing very good, I have to say.
Yeah, and this is where it could be a little bit dangerous, because TPA are going to move in there. You know, they've got good poke. At the same time, Yoey might say, okay, let them come in, think they can poke us down, and then we fight. Then we go in for them. We'll see about that one, though. Jarvan actually getting close on the top side there once again, but a very, very tight game. And you can tell, you know, the way that both teams are playing this kind of half going in, then backing away, half going in, backing away. At some point, it's just going to come down to a big death ball 5 versus 5. 5 versus 5 fight.
Maybe that, or they just wait for the Morgana binding to hit on somebody. Once that happens, that guy should die. And the more late game approaches, the easier that guy will die.
Well, Stake is just 200 gold away from a Zhonya's Hourglass.
Sneaky.
This is a 2-man sneaky Baron. No one from...
Should be obvious, man.
Yeah, no one from Yoey Flash Wolves is aware of this one. Nobody's going anywhere near it. They just realize they're away. But by the time Stake gets here, they know they're collapsing in, but I think they're going to be too late. Stake's going to move into there. The Baron is going down. Teleport comes out. It's gone. Taipei Assassin snuck that one away.
Yeah, you can see how Yo Wolves lacks a little bit of experience right there, because the very good teams are going to always try to achieve this kind of Barons at this point.
They're going to either try and rush a Dragon here, Yoey Flash Wolves.
Not sure how good,
but they might just completely lose the middle of their base. Look at Taipei Assassins. They're piling straight up the mid lane. Dragon goes down. We do see Yoey Flash Wolves coming at the back of them, but this is now a Baron up Taipei Assassins. This is a risky play.
What are they going to do? Will they stick around and fight this one? Lupin actually tanking up the laser there, which is probably not ideal. They'll switch over, though, onto the top side of the map, where they've taken down another inner turret. You can see, if you look at the minimap, that the Yoey Flash Wolves are actually trying to collapse in. There's the ultimate going down. They're going to chase.
Well, they're going to try and catch on towards him. Karsa instantly kicks him straight out of the Cataclysm there.
Oh, they're a bit low, eh?
Winds went in, Winds went out. Jay's low, but that's about all. We do see Yoey Flash Wolves going to try and collapse around there. Sonic Wave catches on him, but Maple Flashwall's been
shot.
picked off already, and the damage from Taipei Assassins is huge as they catch on towards him. Morning's been caught out. He gets taken down. We do manage to catch on to another. True Shot Barrage rattles across. Not quite
Damage.
going to get enough. NL on nothing there. And everybody from Yo-Yo Flashwalls backs away. This may actually be an inhibitor turret as well. They could keep pushing, but instead they're going to play it safe. They will back away. They've still got just under, I think, 2 minutes left on that Baron buff, so they're going to be able to get back to base and make it count down the bottom lane.
Do you actually realize that LeBlanc got from 60% to 0 from one attack of Sivir?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you get your crit, right? And you're like, ha!
Yeah, it was literally
We
one
just won this
one shot.
And then Sivir flashes over the wall. Like, both of these AD carries have
Yeah,
already
very
shown
ballsy,
that
yeah.
they are not scared of flashing or Tristana's case just jumping into the enemy team to get things moving. And, I mean, why not if you think you've got the backup there? There's another blue buff actually going down for Chowie. Same will happen for Maple over the other side. We do now see that Lulu is slowly but surely getting up there to that Rebadon's death cap. And to add into that Soul Stealer from earlier on, which has got, I can't quite read how many stacks it has.
Yeah, I mean, the big issue is obviously for Maple while LeBlanc
3.
in there. He has only got 1,400 hit points, so if he gets caught, he's pretty much going to die. There's no doubt about it. Anyway, Zhonya's Hourglass was completed. A couple more items being picked up. Aegis of Legion also was picked up by Wins in there, as well as the Last Whisper for NL. So NL, remember, is on Tristana. He's going to be a pretty beefy AD carry once he gets going. But look at Maple. That's what they wanted to do.
Well, this is
there
really
you go,
good.
Morning. They've been waiting to make that work so long, but the rest of Taipei Assassins are collapsing on them.
Not sure if good, eh?
Oh, Stake
It's a
getting
45.
knocked up, but you throw so much in there, and what are we going to see now? We see Karsa diving into the back. Jay going to get hit with a bounty, but they've killed off Lee Sin. Can they find any more? There's NL getting his reset. Will dive right to the front, and there is Stake as well. Gets a two-man slow. Will pop his Zhonya's, and that means that they can't actually chase any further on that one, but they take those couple of kills and will be happy.
I think he fully expected the turn there. He was expecting Chowie to turn around, blast him back, but they didn't. They just kept running, so Zhonya's made him look a little foolish. Played it safe, though. They did still get some kills, and that was, remember, a Baron just running off there in Taipei Assassins. They've been trying to get that play for so long, Morning down in that bottom lane. They did manage to make it count. It was a straight-up assassination from Maple as well. Just blew him straight up. 8-7 in kills. Still Taipei Assassins with the gold lead, but it is pretty close.
And you know, the Soul Stealer, you made a great point when you say it's better now because you get 5 stacks. That is until you end up going down to 2 stacks after you've bought it. So yeah,
poor
becomes
Lulu, man.
a little bit less effective there. But got his death cap now, so even, you know, maybe have taken him a little while longer. He is there. We'll see though how much of a difference that will make in the long run. If we look at the overall picture here, 34 minutes in, 8-7 in kills, but Taipei Assassins 6-1 up in towers and have a healthy gold lead because of that. Of course, sneaking that Baron in earlier on. I think that won't happen twice in a row if the Flash Wolves have you know, got their head screwed on right for this.
Yeah, and we were talking obviously earlier on about Chowie being behind in gold. You can see he's caught up and passed in CS now over Maple. Here we go, the Silver Ultimate, the Lulu Ultimate. Everybody's steaming in there. Run for your life, Karsa. He does get the kick away once again. Dark Binding lands in, but nobody else is going to follow through. That will be Karsa just getting melted there. The speed of engagement from Taipei Assassins is very scary. Stake is not with the team. He's pushing the bottom tower. That may be a mistake.
Oh.
Jay not going to quite get assassinated by Maple.
I mean, that shield.
Yeah. Oh, NL getting caught out there as well. He's gone extremely low. True Shot Barrage came through, but I was wondering how much they're going to be able to push with just your jungler down. But AD carries low. They've done good damage to Cassidy now as well, who was forced to use his teleport. Maple actually at the back there was just trying to sneak around and get in, but they end up losing the inhibitor for all of that.
Just bad calls, I feel, from Yo-Yo Flashwall. Stake stayed down that bottom lane, carried on for the entire time, and then they lost the inhibitor, and then it just starts teleporting back. The moment literally everybody is dying. They didn't even get the bottom turret from that. He didn't do nothing. So effectively, just a bad call from Yo-Yo Flash Wolves. May not have been Stake himself, obviously. I don't know who makes the shot calls for Yo-Yo Flash Wolves, but clearly they were of the same situation like you were. You talked about the back door of someone saying, I got this, guys. It's all right. I got it. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing, Kevin. Poor Kevin, bless him. Still sat there. It's all right. I can catch him with
Still
his
watches
axes.
the VOD every night and cries himself to sleep, I'm sure.
But yeah, sadly, just a bad call, and games are lost on bad calls. We've seen so many base race situations of a similar case, but Taipei Assassins there didn't work out for them that one. Sorry, Yoi Flash Wolves.
I think it's pretty obvious, right? That Sivir is hard carrying this game. The fact that the hero itself is really strong against assassins with that shield, plus he's really fed. The Q damage is great. I mean, I don't know. You can see how she's been a huge impact in this game.
And against a team that that's got Kassadin in there, that's got Lee Sin who can hop away, LeBlanc, Tristana that can jump away. You kind of negate those jumps when you've got that much movement speed.
Of course. It's just the ultimate of Sivir plus the shield is just making this game so much harder.
Oh. Third dragon of the game picked up by the Yo-Yo Flash Wolves. They actually have the most dragons at the moment. They are ahead of Taipei Assassins and far from out of this. Look at the push they're going straight at mid lane. Baron is about to spawn, but Yo-Yo Flash Wolves are like, you know what? Let's just take the base of the Taipei Assassins.
They have to take it. They have to take it.
Let's see how this one goes. True Shot Barrage will be thrown across. Does literally nothing. We're going to see Baron going down, but there it is. What are they going to be able to do now? I don't think they're going to get there in time. This inhibitor is going to go down. The Yoi Flash Wolves pick that one. We can see everyone in the crowd's like, what is going on here?
What is happening?
Not quite sure. TPA looked like they tried to get in behind them there with Jarvan and Janna. Didn't work out, though.
They're trying to stop them backing off here, but I think they've managed to escape it. There is a big wave on the bottom, but if anybody can get in and stop them backing away, it would be tragic instead. Look at Maple. Maple's going to try and distract them, try and keep them busy, because obviously they can just follow the super minions at that mid lane. Everybody gets back. Maple just off the side. He's going to see if he can pick anyone off. It's going to be the blue buff taken, but I don't know, where do you stand in this play? I mean, obviously a Baron is good, but it's not. It's a 3-minute Baron these days. It's not as powerful as it used to be, but you do get the buff on the minions, of course. However, losing an inhib in the mid lane,
it's a bad trade for TPA, definitely, because they were ahead. When you're ahead, you don't want to trade even, and this is an even trade.
Oh, good burst on Terchawi there, actually. See if it works out for them. They're going to keep on sustaining, pushing on here. Of course, there's the buff on the minions, but
they need to defend this.
Yeah, and this is going to be careful because, Yoi Flash Wolves are not going to be too short jumping in there, but that may be a bad one. Zhonya's Hourglass was enough for Stake to get out, but I think that's the tower going down, and the inhib may follow.
Oh, Maple actually is low off on the side. They try and get on towards Lee Sin. Flash away from Ezreal, who is low. But look at Sivir at the front going man mode, looping on a rampage now. And that is one man down, Lee Sin down. Let's not forget they're going to use the Monsoon. They're actually going to try and win it here, possibly.
They've got super minions in the mid lane. They're already on towards the Nexus, they were. But don't forget, super minions are spawning for Yo-Yo Flash Wolves. It should be enough to keep them away. This Baron buff, it's got about a minute left remaining on it, so they're going to try and sustain as long as they can. Stake keeps getting caught by those Mystic shots from what's his name, Chowie, and it is going to be a back away from TPA. Question is, can they get any exit kills? There's a big wave on the bottom. Stake hasn't got teleport though, so he's not going to make use of it. And that top turret, wow.
If that had have happened without a Baron and without that middle inhibitor down, they would have had super minions in the base and been able to win the game right there.
That's actually true. I have
ifs and buts, though. I mean, we could also say if they didn't get 10 kills, they'd be losing.
You never know.
Would they have been able to push the inhibitor in the first place without the Baron? There's a lot of ifs on that one. Big wave being picked up. Maple's been sneaky. He's dashed down and got the blue buff stolen away. And Morning did push the wave up. He's not going to follow through, not going to fall for it. We're going to see Maple standing in the bush once again. Oh, he's going to back away this time. He's not going to wait for the assassination.
We're 4.
Lulu's almost up back to starting stacks.
I know, but
is he? He's up 4. Is it 4 stacks now?
Is it 4? Okay. Oh, Maple, you're in trouble. There's the speed boost.
Try to one-shot Janna.
He's going to try and pop someone. I don't think it's going to work out for him. He's not even... I mean, you got to try Sonic.
Yeah,
at least. What the hell?
Let's try, yeah.
Okay, so when you see someone doing that, they're clearly trying to delay for the team, but I'm not sure the team's going to delay much. I think they were actually thinking, can we legit try and push this mid lane for a win? But they're going to lose their top inhib if they don't get up there fast.
And LeBlanc is the most valuable hero.
They are reacting super slow to this one as well. 2 of them deciding to walk up there. Luckily for them, TPA had pushed back.
A leisurely walk.
Yeah. They're fighting like champs, though.
Well, the inhib spawned. That's going to go straight back down. So that drops. They're down to to one inhib once again. The top one is the only tower surviving. Morning actually caught by the kick of Casa. Not going to follow through on that one. Not going to try and get a big kick. Stake just keeps getting caught out by the glitter lances and the mystic shots of Chowie. Now they're going to dive in towards them.
Yeah, there's the knock-up from the Wild Growth. We see their Wind's able to tank through that with all those shields on him, but now they've got Maple coming back in, but I think they're just too far ahead here. I mean, 13,000 gold pretty much. As you said, Ocelot, a valiant effort here from the Yowie Flash Wolves to try and hold on. Maple, is he going to be able to get back? He was already healing. They've lost the support. Of course, Stake will dive in there. He pops his Zonias, but they lose the first Nexus turret here. There is Lee Sin on the backside as well. Maple getting back onto the fountain. Gets a little heal off as well, but they're going to lose the AD carry. That's a double kill, and this is going to be the first game.
Absolutely. Taipei Assassin should close this one out. Maple trying to keep there. They do get looping down at the end, but that's about all it's going to be. Casa will get pushed onto his fountain, and the inhibitor Nexus turret will fall down. So Taipei Assassins take a solid game one here. No doubt about it. They were in control throughout there. We questioned whether the double AD carry could work out, whether they fell behind, but it just didn't happen. They held on strong throughout there. Questionable decision on the Baron, no doubt about it. You know, to lose an inhib for a Baron, especially the middle lane, is a tricky one, but overall, solid play.
Well, we got Dexter back with us now, so he can give his thoughts on that one. A bad call overall. I mean, they won the game, so it wasn't that bad for them, but is that a decision that you take when you're that far ahead already?
To be honest, I think Baron is worth it more than an inhib. Like, before the Baron changes, it didn't used to be. But right now, with all the pushes, like with the minions and the way you can control creep waves, stack them up, and then you just see how powerful those minions are. You can just push an entire lane even through the Nexus turrets, and you couldn't do it before, even with Baron. So I think taking that trade actually let them finish the game much faster than they wouldn't have.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, Baron is slightly more important than getting the mid inhibitor. Although when you're even, that's a good trade. Or that might be a good trade, you know. But when you're that much ahead, if you trade even, it's like trading behind. You don't need to trade even. You are very ahead. You can just fight them. You can just force them to come somewhere. You don't need to trade like that, you know. That's the only point. But of course, Baron is really valuable right now.
And that is the first game that the Yowie Flash Wolves have lost this tournament so far.
Yes.
Other games, they didn't really look close to losing any of their previous 4 games, I think. And this is kind of what we expected from the final. These two teams, because they've been head and shoulders above everyone that they've played so far, and we expected that this is where they were going to clash heads. Before we go into a break, guys, what do we think? You know, picks and bans for game 2. Is there anything that really stood out there?
I think both teams got what they wanted, to be honest. And the story of this game was pretty much Wins and his 4 friends against the other team. Yeah. he has a 100% win contribution, so I think he carried that game like single-handedly. He was 4-0 when 4 kills were involved, and then that one dragon play where the third dragon, I believe, where they were waiting in the brush, and then they got 3 kills. The Wolves got 3 kills and the dragon, so that allowed them actually to come back into this game where they could have taken control over the whole game. But
if it wasn't for Maple just seeing it could have finished a lot quicker.
Very small mistake by TPA, otherwise a very clean game from them. And I really like how they played it out, how they used it, how they grouped up in mid lane. With Ezreal, you want to group up mid lane. There's a lot of siege potential, especially with the Lulu, and you could just see that Wins was always there when he had to be, whereas the other junglers, Casa, didn't do such a good job of delivering the same pressure that he had to.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like you talked about Wins, 4-0-11. It was only a 15-kill game after all. 15 assists as well for Jay. And overall for Taipei Assassins, they just played as that unit the whole time. Obviously, there was that one moment where Morning got caught out, but I don't recall one moment in this game. We talked about the assassination potential where we saw a Kassadin and a LeBlanc going onto the same target, getting this distortion and the force pulse across everybody. It just seemed like they went in one at a time. That was it.
Sivir is actually a really important pick here. Actually, I think if every assassin is open, I think Sivir is definitely the best AD carry to pick. Even like priority, like even the first between the first 2 picks, you should pick it. You saw it. They couldn't go on Sivir. It was really effective.
Well, and they just stuck together as a team, a unit. That was it. And they used the ultimate to great effect.
Just pushed together as 5.
And we saw many times as well. We talked yesterday about Sword Arts Morgana. With that Sivir in there, we saw him so often pop his ulti, and he was the man at the front running at them.
Yeah.
Binding comes out and he presses E,
Of
and
course.
they keep running. Like,
Of course.
that completely stopped him from being able to disengage those fights. Either way, I think brilliant performance from TPA, but best of 5, we always say it's definitely a long haul game and not just an easy shutout here.
Yeah,
Yoi Flash Wolves probably going to be back in
This is the one where we see how well they adjust in, obviously, the series. They've played 2 best-of-3s already, but Yoi Flash Wolves on 1-0 down. We're going to go to a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. It is a best-of-5 final, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be back once the players are ready and waiting to go. Give it about 10 minutes, I would say, so go make a cup of tea or coffee wherever you are in the world and keep yourself awake for this one. It is the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. Back in a moment.